Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast, Eastern Conference NHL edition. And now we got a gentleman right over here who's happy that he has to take down his pitchforks against Stevie Y. Here's Douglas.
Stu, there's still 22 games left. We were in playoff position last year, and we went on a losing streak. So until we actually make the postseason, the pitchforks will kind of stay at half-mast.
The half-mast pitchforks right now.
Is Stevie Y the GM of the Red Wings, or what's this? I know he used to play for the Red Wings.
Current GM, absolute icon of Detroit, won a bunch of Stanley Cups, the captain.
Yes.
He was like a big part of their 5 Stanley Cups over that
I know who he was as a player. I don't know if he's still, but you said he's the GM, so that makes
sense. He's running the show, man. He's running the show.
Nice, Stevie Yzerman.
And now we got a gentleman right over here who's realizing, wait a minute, the Blue Jackets are legitimately good. Here's Chris.
Hey, Stuart, just like Doug said, we still had 22 games left in the season. After tonight, we got 21. We have a 2-point lead on the Rangers and the Senators for the wild card. But yeah, 2-point lead on the Red Wings as well, thanks to the back-to-back on Thursday and Friday this past weekend.
Yes. Now, gentlemen, I guess we should talk about it before we get started on all these 16 teams right over here. What's your thoughts so far on the Eastern Conference, and how do you feel about your teams before we get started?
Doug, you can take a crack at this first.
I don't know. The Red Wings, they've had, to say call it a roller coaster season, I think would be a tad bit of an understatement. They started out horrendous. I was like, man, the Yzer plan might not. Yeah, the Yzer plan might not be the plan. Fired the coach, got hot. Those 2 L's to the Blue Jackets really hurt. We're currently 8 seconds away from another loss. So it'd be 3 L's in a row, once again at a terrible time in March. So we're cautiously optimistic that maybe this will start to pan out, but I see that negative 15 differential, and that doesn't speak to a playoff team. It's they're a team that if they get hot and they click, they're good, but we're losing at all the wrong times here. So hopefully we get on another run. We need another 7-game winning streak.
Hey, maybe the Red Wings might continue the tradition of Detroit teams making the postseason.
Still there's a chance that we get all 4. And that has not happened in a long time. The Pistons might win a playoff series. They're looking good. The Pistons are looking good. The Red Wings we thought were good, but then they've kind of slowed down a little bit. It's a fun time to be back in Michigan.
Did the Detroit Tigers, did they make the playoffs last year by chance? I forgot how that.
They were up 2-1 on the Guardians.
Nice.
And they had a 0.02% of making a postseason in July, and they somehow made it in. It was ridiculous. It was like a statistical anomaly that they somehow made it in.
The European pitcher who's amazing.
Skubal.
Yeah. Well, just like Doug was saying, it's not going to happen for Cleveland. We're not going to have all of our teams. We only have 3 professional teams, but only two of the 3 are probably.
Yeah. You have 2 professional teams and 1 amateur team in all of.
Yeah. But in all fairness, I don't. Even though hockey is my favorite sport, I don't follow it as much as I should. I could probably only name 2 players, maybe only one that plays on the Blue Jackets. I need to start paying more attention.
What about Dallas? The Cowboys missed the playoffs. The Mavericks are imploding. What's going on in the Dallas metropolitan area too? Golly.
They just restructured CeeDee Lamb's contract though.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. But anyway,
and I'm more like this Dallas Mavericks thing, man. Have you seen the PR nightmare?
Yeah, now Kyrie Irving, he's out for the season.
It gets worse every day. They just raised ticket prices after trading Luka, and then Kyrie's out, AD's out, and they're falling out of playoff spot. It's funny to watch.
What a time to be alive in Dallas.
I'm glad I got out of there. I got out of work just in time because, man, oh man, that would have been depressing.
But anyway, gentlemen, I guess we will talk about the first team right over here. We got, interestingly, my personal favorite that we can share the screen to talk about. And unfortunately, we got to talk about the greatest team that's been a disappointment, the Buffalo Sabres. As interesting as this NHL season, there's been a lot of surprises. One shall not be surprised, and that is Buffalo being the worst team in the NHL right now. So,
I see them losing 5-2 at the moment too.
yes, they
Right
have
on
lost
cue.
5-2. They have lost 4-3, 4-2. Oh my God! So
they
they've
have
lost.
a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, actually, I should look it up. How many games have they lost?
It's gonna be a 4-game losing streak because they're not gonna come back in 2.5 minutes to the Sharks, so they're gonna lose this game.
Yeah, they have one overtime playoff loss in a row so far. So, I mean, it's so funny to think about it because the Bagulas, they own the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills have been a success so far. Granted, they can't beat Kansas City, but still, success. Been great. But they don't micromanage Buffalo Bills, unlike the Bagulas with the Buffalo Sabres. They are just straight up trash.
At first, I thought you were just making up a name, like a random word, the Bagulas, but you're actually talking about the ownership for the Buffalo Bills. All right.
Yes, and the Buffalo Sabres.
I had no idea who the owners were.
You have no idea who the owners were?
I mean, I
barely know the owners of teams in Detroit. The Buffalo Sabres.
I don't even know who owns the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Okay, I do not know that, but unfortunately, I just know it. I just know that they had. I just know it's just been bad. They're trying to do like throwbacks. There's that one year. This is like a couple years ago. I remember a urinating tree video where they literally they brought back a Chinese knockoff of their jerseys, and they had their star players, like their famous star players in the past, and they misspelled their names on the jerseys.
Classic
Buffalo Sabres. You're talking about the Buffalo Sabres, right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like, Mike, how mad? Okay, let's be honest, Douglas. If you're a Red Wings fan, if they misspelled the great Russian players of the Red Wings teams, how mad would you be at ownership?
I don't know if I would notice still.
They misspelled Dylan Larkin's name.
What if they misspelled Dylan Larkin? What if they spelled Yzerman?
I'm not gonna lie. As a fan, I would kind of laugh. Like if it was they misspelled my name personally, but like if it was a fan, I'd be like, dude, we're incompetent. We missed the playoffs, and we can't spell names right."
Double whammy.
Wow, we really
whammy.
Fire everybody.
Fire everybody. It has been not the shockest of the season. Basically, the Buffalo Sabres. Now, I should ask, will they be dead last by the end of the season?
Can we see the standings? I don't know where they sit in the standings.
They have 50. Oh, no. In the entire league, no way. Or just in the Eastern Conference, I would say they got last place wrapped up.
Eastern Conference alone.
Yeah, I would say they're going to finish last because they have 54 points. The next team in the Eastern Conference that's right next to them is the Pittsburgh Penguins, who have 58 points. So I would say the Buffalo Sabres will wrap up last place.
Yes, and it's just been like an interesting, like, will the Buffalo Sabres ever be good?
Yeah.
I
mean, in the next 5 years.
Here's the problem. We don't know enough about hockey.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said
this
earlier,
is where we truly show our casualness. How
dare you? Like literally, okay, they beat the.
I'm kind of laughing at like the next team that we'll talk about. Like we all know a little bit more about these other teams. Like Buffalo's one of those teams I never think about because they always suck. Like when's the last time they made the playoffs? Like I think they made a fluky playoff appearance and probably got swept a few years back.
I think
they used to have like Ryan Miller, I think, like the elite goalie. I might even be getting names wrong. I don't know. They used to have like an elite goalie that at least made them relevant, but like now they're not.
No, they're not. It's interesting. Like their January lost to the Avalanche, lost to the Golden Knights, beat the Capitals in overtime, beat the Senators, lost to the Kraken, beat the Hurricanes, lost to the Penguins. Lost the Kraken.
Wow. When do you think the last time is they actually made the playoffs?
I'm gonna say 2002. Do you have it pulled up, Doug?
Yeah, I can look it up. I can look it up.
I got it right now.
Damn, you got it.
They have the current streak for all-time longest playoff drought in NHL history. 2010.
Oh,
wow.
Oh man.
Oh man, they tied the New York Jets for longest active playoff drought in all of the 4 major sports.
I thought I was about to say the Winnipeg Jets, who no longer exist. Oh no, the Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg still exists. How
They do,
dare you?
yeah. Who was I thinking of? I was thinking the Vancouver Canucks.
They still
No.
exist.
No, are you talking about
The
the
Arizona
They still
Coyotes
exist.
don't exist.
Yeah, the Arizona Coyotes don't exist.
No, isn't there some team? Montreal Canadiens. They still exist.
What
right?
about the
The
Nordiques?
Atlanta Thrashers no longer exist.
Oh, I miss the Thrashers. They used to be my favorite team.
Oh yeah. What about the Nordiques in Quebec City?
What?
That later became the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
Yes. So unfortunately,
I was bummed when we were just in Vancouver. We didn't get to see a game. That was a shame. I would like to see it.
Oh man, that would have been a good one because Vancouver's doing at least legit good.
I tried to propose that we should have saw the Wings in Edmonton, but it didn't work out that way.
I could have saw Connor McDavid, the Canadian hero.
Exactly. Watch him snipe one right over him.
Take him out. But anyway, gentlemen,
make sure you leave him wide open, right in the crease. Well, he wasn't in the crease; he was a little bit outside of it, but still.
But still, gentlemen, we got. Fortunately, we're down. Buffalo is just like Buffalo. We're also going to be down for one. And now we got an interesting one. We got another team where we got to talk about. Oh boy, aren't you so sad, Douglas, that the Pittsburgh Penguins decided to copy the Detroit Red Wings in their 2019 season?
Yeah, Doug, do you remember that 2019 season?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the reference is, but yeah.
Well, okay. So the Penguins used to be very, very good. And then the Penguins decided to basically overpay their players.
I see.
They decided to do the Red Wings playbook. And just like the Red Wings in the late 2010s, the Penguins decided to just choke and choke and choke.
Well, Stu, do you know what happened to the Red Wings? The Red Wings are basically what the Dodgers would be if the MLB decides to do a salary cap. But we just get all the best players, and then all of a sudden the league is telling us that we have to cap it. And we're not used to this. We're used to spending our money and being hockey town. Could you imagine if the Dodgers couldn't spend $8 billion in offseason? It'd be unreal.
I mean, it's like your name had a great quote, like the Dodgers spend as much money as a small Caribbean island's GDP. That's how much the Dodgers spend.
Well, and it's crazy that they get like all their players to defer the money too. It's like they're on the hook for like billions of dollars after all these dudes aren't playing anymore. So I don't know what the plan is there.
So I guess I should ask Douglas, as someone that had to deal with the pain as being a Red Wings fan, how do you help the coping of the problems that the Penguins are having right now? And also, I will say they have hit a steep decline right now. They used to be like mid last year. They are just like,
I mean, they're outside the playoffs looking in. Obviously, we're talking about them early. Here's my personal opinion, Stu, and I will stand on this pretty consistently across sports. I'm okay if a team wins a championship, but I never want a team to repeat unless it's my team. Like, I'm cool if the Browns won a Super Bowl, big heck yeah, that was awesome. If the Browns won back-to-back, big all right, that's enough. Get out of here.
What about the Cowboys that won back-to-back?
Oh, sure. No, that they should. Cowboys shouldn't even win.
I'll say they might be an exception where even one would feel like nauseating.
100%.
But what about the Penguins when they won back-to-back?
Well, I mean, when they went back-to-back, that was a lot, and they had beat the Red Wings in that 2009 season. So that was a tough Game 7 series. Sidney Crosby has enough rings, so you're not going to get any sympathy from me. That's what I'm saying.
You know, I always joke. Do you think the Red Wings will ever be as cool as Sidney Crosby?
Yeah. So we were literally like inches away from going back-to-back, and Sidney Crosby and the Penguins took it away from us.
Sidney Crosby and his Penguins just like, boo! Right there. But anyway, we should talk about the current Penguins right now, who has just been, their core is in their 30s. They're not looking good. Too bad a contract. Honestly, I remember that they decided to still pay Sidney Crosby $19 million for a 2-year extension.
That's kind of like that's one of those contracts that you're giving him just to say like thank you for all you've done. That's not a like good deal contract. That's a hey, go retire and be rich.
But still,
that's a hometown hero price right there.
Shouldn't you just blow up the core? And I love Sidney Crosby, but I think Crosby got to go.
Well, from the business side, yes. But Stu, we just saw what trading a generational superstar did to the city of Dallas. And granted, Sidney Crosby's older and has won championships, but I don't know. Sometimes the fans might respond negatively. Maybe you blow up the whole center except for Crosby.
All right, you just blow up the whole center. And also I think also the same problem. I don't know if you agree the same problem with the Red Wings was in the 2010s era. Did you feel like that they just never trained their young talent like the Penguins did now?
I mean, that's definitely a part of it. And like when you win a lot of Stanley Cups, like in all sports, your farm system usually suffers. And the Red Wings, they had a really bad farm system, and that's why this Yzer plan has taken so long. Is now the future's bright, but it's like we got to start winning now too. But it's like that's kind of like in baseball to me, where it's like the teams that stay consistently good are usually the ones that build up the systems. Like the Astros had like a good 12-year run because they just built the right way and like had a beautiful farm system and always replaced guys. So you got to have a good farm system in most sports.
Mm-hmm.
I wish the NFL had a farm system. That'd be so cool to have a minor league NFL league. That'd be sweet.
See Dak Prescott get sent down to Arlington.
Yeah. I mean, Arlington, they have a XFL
I think Arlington's where Dallas plays. I don't know why I said Arlington.
well, Arlington has an XFL team, so just get downgraded or get moved down to the XFL league.
How dare you?
Sent to arena football.
How dare you? I mean, are you telling me that's what we should do? The Penguins?
What should they do? Send them down? Get rid of the whole team?
Yeah, send them down to the G League. Send it down to Lake. What is it? What's the lake that's near Pittsburgh?
I mean, there's a river, but the closest lake is Lake Erie, but the closest body of water is that river, and then the closest major body of water would probably be the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, yeah, send them to the Atlantic Ocean at this point. Penguins is just like
we can send them up to the Arctic Circle, Stu. They can go hobble away.
Yeah, they're gonna waddle, go out. They're gonna waddle out to the playoffs. Waddle, and also look at it, terrible record. 24-29. Ugh.
Well, I will say, Stu, because one of the comparisons I have mentally is with the Capitals, because they kind of had a couple of down years and they were like missing the playoffs. On, I don't know what they did to retool, but they're sitting at number one, and Ovechkin had a resurgence. So like the NHL is kind of weird like that. Like Boston, who we'll talk about in a second, they like set the all-time points records like a year or two ago, and now they're outside of the playoff picture. It's like the NHL flips really quick sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the two team. I feel like the two sports. I mean, NFL, granted, not this year, but I feel like that in the NHL. I mean, look what happened to the Panthers. They were sucking for like the few years ago, and now they want a Stanley Cup.
I mean, Vegas didn't exist 10 years ago, and they have a Stanley Cup.
Which still didn't they win it their first year? I'm pretty sure.
No, they made it to the finals their first year, but they lost to the Capitals.
Oh, then they probably won their second year.
No, they did not win it their second year. They lost. They lost in the first round.
Nice. Which year did they win it, Stu? See if you know this.
It was not last year, but it was the year before.
Gotcha.
2023. They. I'm trying to think. Was it the Stars? I'm trying to think. Who did they? Yeah. Was it the Stars?
The Stars sounds like it could be right. I don't. It doesn't seem like it was the Stars though.
Because it can't be the Dallas Stars because they play in the
no. It was the Lightning.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, because they went back. They tried to three-peat it and they couldn't do it. Yes. Yes, because I remember. Yeah. Look at that. But anyway, Penguins are going to be. Unfortunately for the Penguins, they're going to. Waddle out to the playoffs. Waddle. Sidney Crosby. Waddle. Not gonna do well. Waddle. The next Red Wings.
Waddle.
So what should we call the? We used to call the Red Wings the Dead Wings. What do we call the Penguins? The Dead Penguins. Arching the
flightless birds. You know that's true though, because penguins can't fly.
Penguins can't fly. How about the marching of the Penguins to their death?
That's a long name, but I'll take it.
It was actually the Golden Knights versus the Florida Panthers. So, not trying to talk ill about the Tampa Bay
I totally forgot about it. Yeah, because they lost that first year, and then it was the Panthers. Yeah, You're right. It was the Panthers, and then they came back and then they won it.
Nice.
And then the year before that, it was back to back Lightning, if I remember correctly.
Well, I mean, it was back to back in appearances, but because Tampa Bay won 2020, 2021. They lost 2022 to the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh yeah, the Avalanche finally won it because it took them like 21 years, right? If I remember correctly.
You know it better than I do, Stu.
Yes. I don't know how I remember that, but I still remember that. But anyway, gentlemen.
Well, you probably watched that documentary on the Wings versus the Avalanche. Epic stuff.
That was a good documentary. I'm not gonna lie. That was my favorite documentary.
Oh yeah, man, those good times.
It was good times indeed. And
what platform was that documentary on?
It was
Was it on ESPN Plus?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was on ESPN Plus, but it was also on it was A60.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, A60. And now we got another team that we got to talk about. The New York Islanders, who also, oh boy, they went from making the postseason to not looking good. It is crazy to think about the rise and fall of the Islanders right now.
I mean, they're beating the best team in the Western Conference right now, 3-1. So, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, but
I mean, it doesn't really say much. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't really because Islanders are not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they do have a winning record, but still, it's not that great.
Well, I mean, they definitely could, though. That's the crazy thing is, I mean, they're only 5 points out. So.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it's crazy how much the last both wild card positions or spots. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 8 teams fighting for the final 2 spots, and yeah, the Islanders are one of them. So I misspoke about them missing the playoffs this year.
Yes, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like the Islanders. I don't think they're going to make the postseason. I'm going to put it right there.
I mean, I don't think they're going to make the postseason either. They'd have to have one heck of a comeback. I mean, they're like we mentioned earlier. There's still 22 games left in the season. They're only 5 points out. You can easily get those 5 points in 3 games, 4 games, what have you. So there's still an opportunity. Plus, they're going to get 2 points right here from beating the Winnipeg Jets. So they'll be at 63. Whoa.
Let's go Jets!
Yeah, I mean, being only 3 points out, it's not much. It's going to be tight. It makes me nervous for the Red Wings and the Blue Jackets with how congested it is.
It is a very congested, which is interesting because, next week we'll talk about the Western Conference, and it's not congested. It's like haves and have-nots, to be honest with you. Versus, I feel like any of these teams could probably, except if you're the Penguins or the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, so I'm not sure when the Islanders play next. Let's see, Saturday.
They're going to play against the Sharks, who suck.
Yeah,
Saturday at 10 p.m. So Islanders could get a win right there on Friday.
There's some winnable games coming up. It looks like. I mean, Anaheim's
the Blue Jackets play the Panthers on Friday. Detroit plays the Utah Hockey Club, which isn't they're at about 500, so that could be a win for the Red Wings. But I see that being a loss for the Blue Jackets. So yeah, Islanders could slip their way right into here.
Yeah, I mean they could be, but still, I don't know. I'm still if I had to put these 5.
I remember we did this last year. We didn't really write it down. We picked who we thought was going to make the wild card.
yeah, we're going to write.
I don't think we ever really took note of who had the best odds or who picked them correctly, but
it's interesting because it's like for their January season, they lost to the Leafs by 1, beat the Bruins by 1 in overtime, but it's the Bruins. This is not the great Bruins, to be honest with you. Well, let's be honest, gentlemen. They did beat the Golden Knights. They did beat the Yeti team. What was it? I'm trying to think.
Oh, it's not the Yetis. Yeah, what they change their?
It's the hockey club, isn't it?
Well, they voted on it like a month ago. Like they had a bunch of fans come in the arena and vote on it.
I still see the Utah Yetis.
The old Delta Center in Park City.
Park City. Yeah, gotta love Park City. Gotta love Utah. One of the greatest states ever.
Been there, seen that.
Yeah, been there.
They didn't
want to go back.
All right, so they did beat a hockey team that's from Utah. I should call it that. That should be my name. They did beat a hockey team. They did lose to the Senators, which the Senators are a lot better. Lost to the Flyers. Beat the San Jose Sharks, but San Jose Sharks suck, so it doesn't really matter. They did beat the Blue Jackets by 2. They did beat the Flyers by 2, and then they beat the Hurricanes by 1, Avalanche by 3, and the Flyers by 3. So I don't know. I'll still probably put them down as the no.
I think we all agree, Stu.
We all agree. We all agree. This
And
one's
I don't have any reason to expect a run out of them.
yes. But speaking of teams, gentlemen.
So I was looking up for the voting for the Utah Hockey Club. You have 3 choices: the Mammoth, the Outlaws, and the Hockey Club.
Ew.
And I'm not sure when voting ends. Didn't really look into it too much, but it's a fan vote, and right now the Utah Mammoth are looking like they're in the lead with 42.7%.
It should have been Yeti for sure.
Yeah, Yeti. I don't know why they didn't let
I
Yeti
the Outlaws. I mean, granted, it's like I don't think
Mammoths ever live in
Utah.
Utah? What is this?
When's the last time a
Mammoth?
Mammoth was in Utah? Come on.
Yeah. What in the world?
It should be Yetis.
Like, we see all kinds of lions and tigers in Detroit.
Yeah,
like,
when we went skiing last year to Utah, we saw a bunch of Yetis. It's more.
Yeah, I didn't know. You're just like. Whee! Anyway, gentlemen, we got to talk about the Philadelphia Flyers, who
I think they're gonna fall like the Eagles do, and they're gonna fly.
They ain't flying. They ain't flying this season. It's like it
Best
ain't
in America, Stu.
What's their mascot's name?
Gritty.
Gritty. They're gonna
That's
gritty
not
it up to the
gritty.
playoffs.
They're not grittying it up to the
best city in the nation. Let's go.
Flyers are called to beat. No.
Stu, is there any chance you could pull up the mascot? Because Jason Kelsey says that it looks like him. He thinks that they copied the mascot. Jason Kelsey claims that they stole his likeness and made this mascot. So I would.
Yeah, it is gritty.
I would like to see if we could possibly break down Gritty and see if we think it's Jason Kelsey.
I mean, I could see it with the beard, maybe.
All right, I will get a large size about.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much really to Gritty that's human-like besides the beard.
Yeah.
So maybe the beard is what Jason Kelsey's riding high on with the similarity.
I think he was also referring to the bushy eyebrows, if I remember correctly.
Okay, the Gritty has very bushy eyebrows.
Yeah, so he was pretty convinced though that they stole his likeness and made this mascot. So I don't know how old this mascot is, but
yes, we have just. So you wanted to discuss the greatness of Gritty.
I was just curious if we thought that there was a likeness because he was pretty convinced.
What is your thoughts about this mascot right here? Oh my God. Could you imagine if you were like sleeping, it's you and your wife, Douglas, and you just wake up in the middle of the morning and this is saying hi to you?
Stu, I would be upset if he didn't hit the Gritty.
So Gritty was introduced to the NHL on September 24th, 2018.
That was like 2 years after they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so maybe Kelsey has a good point here. Or Kelsey. How do you pronounce his last name?
I don't know.
Anyway, we got to talk about the Flyers right now.
Talking about Gritty is way more important.
Yeah, I mean, Gritty is very much important. But I will say the Flyers, they're not. I think unlike the Eagles, they are not flying. Flyers fly. It's more crash. Flyers crash right now.
It's possible.
I mean, the Flyers lost today 6-3 to the Flame, and the Flame are actually a pretty good team.
Yeah,
the Flames actually been doing good, but
the Flame, they're in the last wild card spot in the West, so I guess that was a tough team to try to beat. Well, they didn't beat them, but I said try to beat. They lost 6-3.
But I will say, I mean, for the Flyers right now in January, they lost to both the Leafs in overtime and again. They did beat the Stars. No, they lost to the Stars by 3. Did beat the Ducks, but it's the Ducks, and the Ducks suck, so it doesn't really matter. I'm sorry, it don't matter. You beat a mediocre.
Tell Disney to do something with that.
There's no Mighty Ducks. There's no Anaheim Mighty Ducks. It's more disappointing Ducks.
Yeah, lame duck.
That's more. This is Disco Duck. Let's be honest.
Unreal.
And then they did beat the Panthers by 1, lost to the Blue Jackets overtime, did beat the Islanders, did beat the Devils by 2. You did beat the Red Wings by 1, and you lost to the Rangers by like 5.
Well, Stu, I mean, I just know that the city of Philadelphia is like probably the greatest city in America. So
Absolutely.
It's not. Absolutely not. That's the city of brotherly hate.
Wow, dude. Hopefully we don't have any Philadelphia City fans over.
I will say I much respect a Philly cheesesteak. It's a delicious sandwich, and it's wonderful.
Okay, it's steak and cheese. If I ever go back to Philly, I'm gonna be like, I want my steak and cheese right now.
What kind of cheese do you get on it, Stu? What kind of cheese you want?
I just want the regular cheese, American.
The Americano, the American cheese. Come on, Stu.
Because we're in America land, and we eat our American cheese.
Well, sir, I don't think if the city of Philadelphia ever listens to our podcast, I don't think they're going to let you in the city limits. So,
I'm gonna get booed like it's like wrestling, and I'm gonna be like the heel. But you know what? I'm just gonna be like, you know what? The booze is good. Boo me out. You give me all the booze.
Dude, give me all the booze.
Hate.
I'll take that.
You love that. I love the hate.
I need to go back to Atlantic City for the booze.
Yes, you can boo. Your
Sure, I'm talking about a different kind of booze.
Okay, not the booze. Booze I will definitely accept. But boo! No. But anyway, I definitely do not think the Flyers are going to make the postseason. Let's be honest. They're actually – it's kind of funny because last year the Flyers were in the I remember correctly when basically I said, hey, if there's any team that I think is not going to make the postseason that looks like they're in the postseason spot, I said the Philadelphia Flyers. Who was right? Who's right?
I don't know, Stu. The Flyers, they play an easy. Well, I'll say easy because no game is ever easy for the most part. They got somewhat of an easy game on Saturday at 12:30 against the Seattle Kraken.
No, Kraken's about to Kraken them out.
I don't know. It's a home game for the Flyers. Kraken are well below 500.
You got Winnipeg. You got the Seattle. You got the Devils. I mean, granted, the Ottawa's doing a lot better. You got to play against the Lightning. Not good. That's a loss. You got a lot. There are going to be a lot of clunkers. I'm just saying. A lot of clunker losses.
Clunker.
Well, that's all right, Stu. I believe in the spirit of Philadelphia.
Boo. Boo you all. Anyway, gentlemen. We're down with one Philly down. And now we got another team to go where we got to discuss the greatest boys club them all. As your name,
boys club?
Boys club of all. I'm talking about the Boston Bruins because let's be honest, they are going back to the boys club and they're not making no postseason. I mean, though it would be kind of hilarious. Okay, there is kind of a part of me that wants to go LOL. It would be kind of hilarious if the Boston Bruins did make the postseason and would have to face against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then they would lose to them again.
Yeah, maybe they would. You know, the Maple Leafs, what have they done?
Why was that a good Toronto Maple Leafs, Boston Bruins? What's that?
Well, unfortunately, last year at TD Gardens, they have a sign that says, "Welcome to TD Gardens. We have Toronto Maple Leafs fans' hopes and dreams die in Game 7."
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So did Boston beat Toronto in Game 7 or something?
Yes, in overtime.
Yeah, I was waiting for the punchline here.
Yes, that's why I said it. Welcome to TD Gardens, the great place of Boston, and then you can go to Toronto and then basically say, "Welcome to Toronto, owned by Boston."
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're going to make the playoffs. So Boston just needs to get their stuff together and so you redo it. Let's go.
I love to see the original 6 matchups.
Yes, I love seeing the original 6, especially the ones that get owned by the original 6. But anyway, I mean, I don't think Boston's going to make the postseason. It's kind of funny that it's like the boys club and everything.
I mean, Stu, they got 64 points, 22 games left. You're just going. I mean, I like where your head's at because
I'm just saying. I feel like the Blue Jackets. I don't know about the Red Wings though. I'm a little bit.
I'm not a big Brad Marchand fan, but Boston still has a good opportunity.
So I'm not gonna lie, it just feels like you're literally just looking at the standings at this moment, saying no, yes.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know if
Yes,
the
they're
Red
gonna
Wings
be
are going to make the postseason. I would probably
Make
say
some
no.
controversial decisions, Stu.
Okay. Here's my controversial decision. I don't think the Wings are going to make the postseason.
Oh, biased.
Oh,
There you go,
actually,
Stu.
technically they did. They technically did.
Wait, Stuart, do you think the Columbus Blue Jackets?
Yeah, they
are gonna
literally
make the
just
postseason?
fell out today, Stu. So you're just following the same logic. Now, do you think the Rangers are going to all of a sudden?
No, I think it's going to be the Ottawa Senators.
No, there you go.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a
I'd
hot
like to
take.
see
Yeah, I
Brady
said it.
Tkachuk. I'd like to see
Yeah.
Brady Tkachuk get a chance at it, right? That's where he plays.
Yeah.
Where does the other Tkachuk brother play? Does he play for? Nah, it's not Tampa Bay, is it?
No, he just won the cup in Florida.
Florida. Oh, the Panthers. Nice. Oh, he's already in the playoffs for the most part.
Well, he just had a season-ending injury, though. He's out for the year.
But
Oh, that's right. Yeah, in the Four Nations, right?
Yeah, Mr. Matthews out for the rest of the season.
Dang, wasn't it his shoulder or something?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
But anyway, gentlemen, I guess we should discuss. I mean, what's your thoughts about Boston this season?
I think Boston's going to make the playoffs.
What?
I mean, yeah.
Would you put
Yeah,
a $5
dude.
bet on it? Let's put a $5 bet right now.
No, I'm not going to do $5 because the chance of them missing the playoffs is definitely better than them making the playoffs. I have an uphill battle here. Stuart. You have an easy downhill trend.
You got to give odds, too. It's got to be like a 3 to 5 type of ratio.
All right. I'll give you if they make the postseason, I'll give you $10. But if they don't make the postseason, you give me $5.
Ooh.
Deal, Stu. Deal. Shake on
Just
that.
shake that hand.
Shake on that, Stu.
I know Boston ain't making no postseason.
Let's go, Bruins.
Unfortunately, I'm rooting for Stu on this one. Yeah, I'm on Team Stu on this one. I root for Boston to fail in most things.
Yes, because aren't you so sad, Douglas, that this sad fan base of Boston fans, they have been struggling for the last 20 years of championship.
Yeah, how have they done it? I mean, 7 Super Bowls, 3 World Series, I think
an NBA championship. Don't forget about
2
that.
NBA championships. It's got to be really tough living in Boston.
And that's how they sleep at night.
They're all like
kings of the world.
They're all sleeping. They're like, man, I wish we could have won more championships. Oh, it's so hard here being Boston.
Here's the thing with Boston is I feel like they're one of those fan bases that if they don't win it every year, they're mad. And I'm really hoping that the Cavaliers just knock the mess out of Boston and go to the NBA Finals.
And so, but are you also happy if the Blue Jackets beat the tar out of the Boston Bruins?
Absolutely, Stu.
Let's go.
Like I said, I'll always root for teams to win the first one. I'll vote for the Blue Jackets. Only team in Columbus I can root for.
Look at that. And I'm going to get my $5, and it's going to be so great.
I mean, if the Blue – I don't know what the schedule looks like towards the end of the season, but if the Blue Jackets and the Boston Bruins are playing, say the final game of the season, winner goes to the playoffs, I'm going to be rooting for the Blue Jackets. I don't care if I lose $5.
No, I'll root for the Jackets. I got to root for the Jacket Nation, man. Jacket Nation.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad we're agreeing on that.
I think we'd all root for the Blue Jackets in that situation.
Yeah.
That's why you got to say it, Douglas. Go Blue Jackets, that is.
Just a little high stick, Stu. Just a little high stick.
Yeah.
Not a high stick. It was a
Just a clear
call.
Clear as
Clear
day.
smack across the face, broken stick. Just kidding.
No, fair call indeed. And also, I will say this, Douglas. Why couldn't the Red Wings score out of 21 shots? They only scored 1 goal. Not one power play. One power play. Didn't score no goals on power plays.
Wait, they only scored they scored more than 1 goal, didn't they?
Yeah, but they didn't score 1 on a power play.
Oh, I mean, you're not going to an NHL team or any hockey team for that matter is not going to score every time they get a power play. It's not how it works.
Okay, I know it's not every time it's a power play, but at least you should score 1 on a power play.
How
many power play opportunities did they have on Saturday? The Red Wings.
5.
Oh, okay. All right. That's something right there.
So we made 1 out of 5. That I would say the NHL average is about 20%. So that we could hit 1 out of 5.
So you guys did score 1 power play? Yeah, that's good.
Didn't you say we scored 1, Stu? You kept saying we scored 1 power play.
No, you did not score in 1 power play.
What?
Okay.
What are you saying?
I'm sorry.
Where's the number 1 coming from in this whole thing? I think you're saying because you guys did not
you scored
score
one
one.
goal out of
There
25
we
shots. So that's what I meant to
Oh,
say.
you're saying just shots on goal?
Yeah, shots and goal. But still,
Mhm.
that's bad. That's bad, Douglas.
Stu,
Blue
we're
Jackets
out.
only scored when they got
We're
3
not even
goals.
talking about the Blue Jackets or the Red Wings. So are they next?
All
Or
right.
are the Red Wings
Okay.
next?
I'm sorry.
Get Boston out of here. I'm tired of them.
Tired of Boston and TD Gardens. Let's go.
I'm sick of these colors. They look like some bumblebees just buzz away. Buzz out of the postseason. Buzz right to an early couch seat in April.
Get your neutered bears out of here because that's what a Bruin is, a neutered bear.
I'd be home.
Anyway, next we got to talk about my favorite French Canadiens, the Montreal Canadiens, who it's been an interesting last few years. They made it to Stanley Cup during the 2021 COVID year, and unfortunately have not improved ever since. Basically, it is crazy. They went from like a great stock and then boom, never made a postseason.
Well, to be fair, that Stanley Cup year, they sucked that year too. Like they snuck into the playoffs and then made a miraculous. It's not like they were good that year. I think they were like an 8 seed that happened to get hot and then got destroyed in the Stanley Cup Finals.
That is true. They did get destroyed. Was it like 4-0?
I think they got swept in the Cup Finals too.
Yeah, they lost 4-1 in the series to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
But it's still crazy because I still this always reminds me of the funny story when the Toronto Maple Leafs had to play against the Montreal Canadiens. It's like, all right, boom, we already beat we only have to play against Canadian teams. We're gonna win a playoff series. Boom, we got to play against Montreal, who we beat 60% of the time in the regular season. Oh, we got a 3-1 series against Montreal. We're gonna totally beat them. Lose game 5. Game 6, Game 7. Toronto goes out.
Well, Stu, I think that's more a story about Toronto being an absolute choke artist of an organization.
Yes, that is true. And I don't even
think
the
Canadiens, Stu, they have the most championships in all of North American sports. I think they have like 27 Stanley Cups.
Dang, and weren't they part of the original 6? Right.
They're the part of the original 6, but also I will say it. When's the last time when the Montreal Canadiens won a Stanley Cup? 92, 93?
I think so, yeah.
They haven't won one cup since the 90s.
Well, Stu, we still hear about the Cowboys every year. Why can't we
every week?
How dare you? Sacre bleu. That's what I got to say to that.
Oui.
I'll say, should the Cowboys move to Canada, Stu? Is that a more appropriate spot for the losers?
Championships.
How dare you? How dare you, gentlemen? But anyway, do you think
the Canadian Cowboys? I love it. It has a ring to it.
Oh, I like that.
How dare all of you?
Canadian Cowboy.
Can you imagine a Canadian Cowboy try to have a duel? No, I can't shoot you.
We can't. Anyway,
my horse can't ride on this ice.
Anyway. So quick.
I'm saying the Canadians will not make the playoffs, Stu. I think that's the question you're about to ask us.
Yes, will the Canadians make the playoffs?
No.
And I will say, I mean, they do have it's been a mixed bag. They got a young core. They're doing a little bit better, but still, I just don't think it's this year. Maybe next year. I will be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
I like their jerseys. They're one of my favorite. Like, I feel like I really enjoy their jerseys. I've heard Montreal's a great city, but hopefully they can get more relevant consistently in hockey again.
Yeah. Fortunately for their January, they lost the Blackhawks, who suck. Beat the Avalanche. They did beat the Canucks, which the Canucks are a little bit better. They did beat the Capitals, but they lost to the Stars. They did beat a hockey team in Utah. They beat the Stars by 2. Lost to the Leafs by 4. And then the Rangers, they beat them in overtime, and then beat the Lightning by 1. Lost the Red Wings by 2. Lost the Devils in overtime. Lost to the Jets by 3. Lost to the Wild by 4. So it's like about that life. So
about that life.
Well, we'll see how it goes right over there, gentlemen.
Why, sir? Do you think the Montreal Canadiens are going to make the playoffs?
No.
Obviously, you got the Blue Jackets. Who would be your second team in the wild card?
I just
next?
watched Gladiator 2. For the rest of the time, I'm going to do the.
I feel like that's what the movie also was. It was like a.
Well, this time they tried. Oh, you didn't like the Gladiator 2?
Yeah, I heard the Gladiator 2 was bad.
I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3/4 thumb up.
Yes. But
So
anyway,
25% thumb up or a 3/4?
Like, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
you give it a 7 out of 10. But anyway,
7 out of 10 thumbs. Gotcha.
But anyway,
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It's about as good as the Blue Jackets season. Like, they're solid. Wild card contention.
Yeah, solid 7 out of 10. We'll take her.
Anyway, gentlemen, we got another team right over here who I feel like will make the postseason.
Well, that's right. This is your second team, Stuart. The Ottawa Senators.
I don't think because they were saying that Mr. Brady Tkachuk has never made the playoffs, and Matthews played in like over 70 playoff games. We got to get the other Tkachuk some love after his brawls in the Four Nations. Man, he showed up for USA. He needs a chance.
Yes.
So, Doug, are you saying the Senators going to make the playoffs?
I hope so, but
Senators and the Wings.
If it's at the expense of the Red Wings, then no. But like,
no, it's going to be
the
the
Loch
expensive.
Ness Monster needs a chance to win it as well.
Oh my God, it's just like the Wings have gone to collapsing. But anyway, we got to talk about the Ottawa Senators. The surprise of probably the NHL, because let's be honest. When I think of the Ottawa Senators, I think of the little brother to Toronto in hockey.
Where's Ottawa in relation to Toronto?
Toronto's always the big brother.
Well, yeah, but like geographically wise,
technically, I think it's Toronto first. It's like if you try to get to Detroit, you're driving to Ottawa. You're going to go to Toronto first, and then you get to Ottawa next.
Oh, the Red Wings in Ottawa, they played twice in the month of March. So those are going to be good games. They're 1 point apart.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're going to be fighting for that spot, gentlemen.
They play next Monday in Ottawa. That's going to be a good one.
Ooh, let's go.
Let's go, Ottawa. But anyway, I think, gentlemen, what's your thoughts about this success? The success of Tkachuk's and the Ottawa Senators.
Oh, yeah. Ottawa is just to the east of Toronto, so they're pretty close in relation. All right, Stu, I see what you're saying, brother, big sister, whatever you said. Gotcha.
I said little brother. They're the little brother to Toronto.
Yeah. But they're the capital city of Canada, so yeah, Toronto's better.
But in hockey.
Okay, hockey. All right, gotcha.
Yeah, hockey. I mean, they're the little brother. They will always be the little brother. But let's see.
I thought Ottawa was out west. I learned something new today.
Yeah, I thought Ottawa was out west too. I think it's Calgary and Vancouver out there to the west.
Yeah, and Edmonton.
Yeah, Ottawa is just like north of Buffalo, looks like. So, all right.
Yeah, what in the world?
Yeah,
when did Ottawa move over there?
In Ottawa, actually, do, but I don't know. I've been pretty.
Ottawa actually used to be in Pennsylvania, where Philadelphia is now, but since they won the Super Bowl, they had to move Ottawa up to Canada, and Stuart's demanding decree here.
I command them.
Every time you make a good playoff run, you move 10 miles north.
Yeah.
Yes. So
that's why the Cowboys are so far south.
How dare all of you?
Good.
I hate you all. We were not even a playoff.
Can I ask you a super random question? Because this has been on my mind. What do you think about the guy from Texas, the Longhorns, that said that he was going to break the 40-yard dash record and then wasn't even close to it? Like, how are you going to proclaim to run a 4.1 and then barely break a 3.4 or a 4.4? Like, that was unreal.
Wait, where is he from? What college?
He was the Texas Longhorns guy. I think Isaiah Bond. He's like, yeah, dude, of course I'm going to set the new record for the 40-yard dash. And he wasn't slow, but he barely broke a 4.4. He was like off by 0.2 seconds, which is a mile in 40-yard dash time.
Mm-hmm. At least Xavier Worthy has didn't he break it, or he has the top three?
Yeah, he had it. And then this dude's like, Xavier Worthy, I can outrun him.
Yeah, right.
Well, how dare all. But anyway, gentlemen, we just got to probably ask.
Oh, all right.
Are the Senators going to Senate their way to the postseason?
No. Well, you guys believe, or Stuart, you believe they are?
Would you put $5 on it?
No. I already have my two teams going for the wild card positions. I already mentioned one of them.
You're not going to put $5 that the Ottawa Senators are going to make the postseason?
Well, he doesn't think that they will, Stu. Why would you do that?
Yes, sir. I'm not confident in them. No.
I'm confident.
I'm not confident.
Honestly, I think they have a good chance. I mean, the way the Red Wings are playing, they get the Wings at home. Like, the Red Wings need to turn it on here real quick.
Mm-hmm. They need to turn it on indeed. And I will still say, what about this, Fyodor? $5 that I will say the Ottawa Senators will make the postseason.
I'm not taking your bet on that.
Oh, boo. Boo. That's what I gotta say.
I just don't have a strong stance in whether they're going to miss it or
he's
whether
trying
they're
to
going to
save
make
up
it.
for a lake house, dog. Stop trying to rob the man.
I'm trying to rob this man. I'm taking all your money. I'm taking all of the money.
Well,
Right
you
now.
can't take my money if we're not betting. Well, you can take $5.
I'm
can take
taking all your
$5
money
if
and all
Boston
those
doesn't make
bets.
it.
I'm just saying. Anyway, gentlemen, we got we got Ottawa down, and now we got the Rangers, who I will say they went from like an absolute dumpster fire to now maybe could make the postseason.
Well, I feel like they kind of having a down year. Like, what happened to Panarin? What was the name? And Arturi Panarin?
Yeah, he's been down, man.
Is he still available or is he injured? Because he came over from the Blue Jackets.
I believe he is, but it's like crazy that they're kind of coming back, but it's still like, I'm still like, yeah.
Something I just enjoy, and like, I don't know why I enjoy this, but I enjoy that New York consistently sucks at most sports. Like, it seems like they should be a state that has like their stuff figured out, like huge, tons of population, tons of resources. And it's like the Rangers always stink, the Islanders always stink, the Knicks are kind of decent, but like not really that good. Like, I don't know. The Giants and Jets suck. Like, what's going on with New York? Like, put together a winner and something other than baseball.
Yes. Unless it's the Yankees in that one.
Other than baseball. And they got the Mets doing good too. So like baseball, they got it figured out.
Everyone
the Giants, and then the Rangers and the Islanders to figure stuff out. Before the season started, the Rangers were my favorite from the Eastern Conference. Obviously, that didn't pan out too well, but they still have a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, I'm not going to put them in the playoffs, but
so technically, they after this Wings loss, the Rangers would technically make the postseason right now.
Yeah,
but
I just refreshed the screen too. Yeah, Rangers.
They gotta play against Washington tomorrow, though. That's a toughie.
Then
they got to play at Ottawa on Saturday. That's a tough back-to-backer.
So, I'm going to say, gentlemen, I don't think the Rangers will make the postseason because it's going to be those Ottawa Senators, baby.
Well, that game on Saturday will be a big one for playoff positioning, it looks like.
It will be, definitely, indeed. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. What do you think, Christopher? You do not think the New York Rangers will be making the postseason?
That is correct. I do not think the Rangers will make the playoffs.
What about you, Douglas?
I mean, they're not a team that I've thought much about with playoff time. Like, they don't really, if such a Panarin's not really playing, I don't really know what they got going on. And I just kind of make a habit out of rooting against like Boston and New York for no particular reason.
Yeah, boo. What? But New York, I feel like that fan base needs some championships, just like Boston.
Stu, they don't. They don't. Send them out to the Midwest. This is where we have diehards.
Are you telling
me New York, their team can lose and they can go clubbing or whatever they do out there?
Are you telling me that they're a bunch of bandwagon fans?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
But
I will say, I think so.
But I will say for the Rangers, for January, they did beat the Bruins. They did lose the Capitals by 3. Did beat the Blackhawks by 4. That's not really saying much. Lost to the Stars in overtime. Beat the Devils in overtime. Beat the Golden Knights. Lost to the Avalanche in overtime. Beat a hockey team from Utah by 2. And then beat the Blue Jackets in overtime. And then actually lost the Canadiens in overtime. Beat the Senators 5-0. Then beat the Flyers 6-5 to tie the 6-1.
I mean, it looks like they're doing some good stuff. I mean, the last 2 days they had back-to-back 4-0 shutouts.
Yeah,
that's
it's
some
kind of
nice
funny
stuff.
because I feel like if we talked about like December would be the Rangers are just a dumpster fire of an organization. And now I feel like the narrative has kind of changed a little bit with the Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll see how it goes indeed for the Rangers. And now, gentlemen, we got to talk about one team that someone in this panel has been a fan of for decades, albeit maybe begrudgingly been a fan of.
Oh no, Stu, there's no begrudging love here.
Begrudging love?
So Stu, when I was just a young lad here in Michigan, we would make pretend Stanley Cups because the Red Wings just won them so consistently, and we would play hockey games and hold up our Stanley Cups. It's been an absolute love. I mean, I've been lucky enough to see, I think, 5 Stanley Cups in my lifetime. So, I mean, if you average a Stanley Cup every 6 years, there's all love. I mean, they're going to be rough patches. You know, you're familiar with it. I mean, you've seen the Cowboys have their droughts, and like teams have droughts sometimes too.
Yeah,
we can't hold that against them. They're like the Dodgers, and then they got a salary cap imposed on them, and that's just baloney. How can we hockey town and told that we can't just get all the best players?
Yeah, and unfortunately,
it's unbelievable.
And
NHL did us dirty, okay?
And unfortunately, it's been 9 years since the last time they made the postseason, correct? 2016 is the last year.
Yep. That sounds about right, Stu. It's definitely been a rough decade.
It's been a rough decade of being a Wings fan. I mean, this was probably the worst stretch since the 1980s.
Oh, yeah, my mom tells me about the dead Wings.
Yes. Like, my stepfather, Pat, had stories where basically they were so bad, the 80s Red Wings, that they had to sell free Cadillacs for raffling day just to get fans in the Red Wing Stadium.
Well, Stu, looking at those helmets right there, I want to go to a Wings game tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, those helmets are sweet. I hope they keep those permanently.
But I feel like this year has been interesting because I feel like if this was October, November, you were ready to get the pitchforks out for Stevie Y. You were so mad, like nothing has changed. This team stinks. What am I supposed to do? And now I feel like they're bouncing back up. Granted, they had a 3-game losing streak, but still.
Yeah, they've had a roller coaster of a season, and we've already hit on a lot of that. I mean, they're definitely going to be a team that once they start to compete, they'll compete for a while and they'll be there. But it's definitely frustrating. Like, especially I think all the fans thought that Stevie Y could just and do one of those and we'd be back to contention, and we're not. And it's frustrating to go 9 years. You know, it's like it's kind of like we talked about, like with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like they're just holding on to making the playoffs, but it's like, you know, when you're so used to being like a consistent Stanley Cup contender to this, it's definitely a buzzkill. You know, you don't want to be a consistent top of the league type of contender to missing the playoffs for a decade.
Yeah, but to be fair for the Red Wings, and I'll say this, you had to deal with the sins of Ken Holland's contract.
Mm-hmm.
That was all Ken Holland's fault.
It was. And I mean, that's what sucked is Stevie Y it's the same thing that happened with the Tigers. We had Dave Dombrowski, and he mortgaged the future to try to win a World Series ring.
Never got a ring.
And then we got rid of all of our good prospects to get good players. That stuff blows up, you know. Look at the Phoenix Suns right now. They gave up their whole future to try to get a big 3, and now their whole future's ruined, and the Phoenix Suns are probably going to be trash for a decade. Because when you go all in and you don't win and you don't succeed and the contracts suck, you kind of get a futility point, and that's you
get kind of laughed at a little bit.
I'm laughing at the Suns right now. I'm like, man, oh man, you guys are spending $150 million on 3 players and you suck. That's unreal.
Hey, you know who wins in that one? The accountants of those 3 players.
You know, no doubt about that.
But I don't know. But I guess I should ask this. Do you think the Red Wings will make the postseason? If they don't make the postseason, do you think Stevie Y needs to be fired?
I mean, I don't think Stevie Y would get fired, but I do think that it's kind of like if they miss it this year, then for sure next year if you don't make it, you're done. Like, I think this year there's still a small amount of leeway because he made some good moves. He fired the coach that got him back into contention. He's pressed the right buttons, and they've made it really close. I mean, this year it'll really suck if they don't, and then next year he's absolutely on the hot seat. Like next year, if they miss the playoffs next year and this year, there's no chance that anybody in Detroit would even consider keeping Stevie Y. It's like, bro, like you came here to get us to the playoffs, and every year getting us within 2 points and missing it. I don't care how close we were last year. I don't care how close we are this year. If you miss it, even if you get swept in the first round, Detroit wants at least a playoff caliber team to feel like we're getting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
How many years has he been the GM?
Like 5 or 6 at this point. I mean, it was before the Lightning won their Stanley Cup, so it's like,
yeah, I think it was 2019.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like we need to start seeing something here.
And then, granted, those first 2 years it doesn't really count because he was handcuffed by the Ken Holland contracts, and it doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, still like 6 years. I mean, when we see teams go from like bottom to like big jumps all the time, it's like I don't know if you need to get a superstar, like because last year we kind of struck out in free agency too, and it's kind of like so we're running back the same core that didn't make it. And I mean, it's once again right on the same border of like maybe we will, maybe we won't. So it's like, I don't know, man. I think this year there's still a small amount of patience, but next year, absolutely 100% you have to be a playoff team at a minimum.
Okay, and then I should ask, gun to your head right now, will the Detroit Red Wings make the postseason?
I do think so. I mean, I think that just watching them, they have just like their new coach just has figured something out. They're playing with intensity. They got some elite goal scorers, good defensemen. I do think that they'll right the ship enough to make it, but I mean, honestly, it's a coin flip. Like, I wouldn't be shocked either way. There's a lot of good teams on their heels. And they kind of have blown, this 3-game losing streak always seems to come at bad times. And it doesn't get any easier. I think we play, like, we lost today to Carolina. I think we play, like, Ottawa soon. We play a lot of big-time games here. So,
yeah, and I will say it's a lot. You got to play against the Capitals, the Senators, the Sabres. They suck, so it doesn't matter. Hurricanes are in a good spot. Golden Knights, good spot. Capitals again. Golden Knights, a hockey team from Utah, the Avalanche, who's not really that great. And then
Red Wings have a rough schedule. Holy moly!
I mean they're gonna have to start scoring, man. I mean, because like for whatever reason the offense is kind of faded again, so we need that spark, Stu. So knocking on wood or something.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're knocking on wood indeed. And now, Douglas, we talked about your team. It's now to talk about my favorite team, my Columbus Blue Jackets. So it's an interesting year because, like I said, we do have to talk about the tragedy of losing Johnny Gaudreau and Johnny Hockey in a drunk driving crash that happened this year. And I feel like with that tragedy, it can go two ways. It's like your name tree says it. It's either the team collapses and we never recover, or we rise to the occasion and do really well.
Win it for Johnny.
We're winning it for Johnny. We're going to do it for Johnny. And I feel like they've been rising really good. And honestly, we got a good rushing core of players. This has been pretty good. The only thing is,
got a good Russian core of players. All right, Stu, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not wrong.
Stu, one of my favorite things about you is your bandwagonness sometimes. Because I didn't hear you talk about the Blue Jackets one time until within the last week, and all of a sudden you're like, "We love them. They're my team." Like, what in the world? Like they weren't your team last year when they're sitting on the bottom of the standings.
Hey, I was rooting for the Jackets, even though they suck.
Hey, once the Blue Jackets miss the playoffs, which this is my second team that's going to make the wild card, so Blue Jackets and Bruins. But once they miss the playoffs, Stu's going to completely forget about the Blue Jackets.
I will root for the Blue Jackets. You know what? I say two words: go Blue Jackets.
Stu, gun to your head. Who wins the Stanley Cup first, the Blue Jackets or the Red Wings?
Blue Jackets.
Whoa. Ooh,
yeah. Man. Yeah, I'll put it.
Honestly, based on what Doug was saying, that if Stevie Y does not make the playoff this year, next year's on the hot seat. If I would say the Blue Jackets too, maybe a little bit biased, but I like what Doug was saying because they might be without a GM coming at the end of the 2026 season or 2025. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But yeah, I would say Blue Jackets over Red Wings first to win the Stanley Cup.
I mean,
do you guys think that the outdoor game was a success? Did you enjoy from what you saw?
Yes, it was such a success.
Honestly, they got to keep that going. It was the second highest attended game, only to the game that was in Michigan at the Big House that had 105. This game this past Saturday had 94,000 people.
See, I didn't get to watch a lot of it, but my only gripe with it is like I don't like how far like away they keep all the stands, and like it kind of feels like I don't feel like you get to experience that crowd noise. You know, it could be an amazing watching experience, but like I feel like it was the same even at the Big House one, where it's like obviously a hockey rink is so much smaller than the football field, but like I feel like you need to like almost put bleachers up there closer or do something to like add to the atmosphere of it, because like when you can't even see crowd, you can't even see like any fans in the stands because they're so far away from the rink. I didn't enjoy that energy personally. It's like
I went to the Winter Classic or what? No. It was for college. It was Ohio State versus Michigan, but they played at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Man, that was a great atmosphere. But like, I don't think it was like I was able to see perfectly. I was pretty much on I'd say the 35-yard line, and I was able to see the puck movement. But obviously, Cleveland Browns Stadium is different from the Big House. It's different from Ohio Stadium down in Columbus. So maybe it's cool to have 90,000 plus people show up to an NHL game because the NHL needs more viewers. People need to understand how great of a game this is. I think they should have it, I don't know, Ford Field. That'd be cool, but that's not outdoors. It's cool to have an outdoor game. They should have it, I don't know, at some NFL stadium, because I feel like college stadiums are a little bit too big, but I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Like that was my only downside is like I don't know. I kind of feel like I missed the energy of it because I didn't see anybody cheering or doing anything. And like you could still hear the crowd, but there's something about it. Felt like COVID almost. Where you're like, where are the fans at?
Yeah.
Like that's part what I like about hockey is I like the fans like pounding on the glass and like, you know, we used to go to watch the Bowling Green games and we could sit there and like scream and punch the glass and everything. You know, that's a part of hockey to me.
But I guess I should ask Fyodor, what is your thoughts about this season's Columbus?
Oh man, like I mentioned at the top of the podcast, I can only name one. Well, I guess now two. Elvis Porzingis. No, that's not even his last name. So I can name one Blue Jacket, and it's Zach Orwinski, the defenseman, one of the best defensemen in the league. So I don't really follow him too much. I know we fired our coach last season. He was actually on the USA's bench. He was an assistant coach for the USA team in the Four Nation tournament. But yeah, Blue Jackets, they're doing something magical, just like the Cavs are doing something magical. But Blue Jackets are doing something magical, not at the Cavs level, but still magical where they can make the playoffs. And I'm confident.
What is that top story there? What are they breaking? What is this brand new street hockey? What are they doing there? Are they building a new arena?
No.
Where do you see this at? Oh, I see on the very right hand side.
Do you see where it says top story down there? What is? I can't. Can you pull it up a little bit? What are they breaking ground on?
Oh,
like you see it down there at the bottom where it says top story.
Blue Jackets break ground for brand new street hockey rink as legacy to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series.
Oh,
yeah.
What's that?
But I will say we got Carlos Marchenko that's scoring 25 goals.
All right, so that outdoor hockey rink for the Blue Jackets, it's in a suburb of Columbus. It's a permanent outdoor hockey rink.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not in downtown Columbus. It's in a suburb called Powell, Ohio. So it's not like if you go to a Blue Jackets game, like, oh, let's check out this outdoor hockey rink.
Right. Are they going to be playing like regular games there? Or is this more for like fans to like mess around at? Like, what is this?
I think it's for the community to have fun with because it's an outdoor street hockey. So there's no ice. It's like you wear your roller skates, or your roller blades, play some hockey ball. Yeah,
well, that's pretty fun. Heck yeah, go Columbus.
Yeah,
but I will say this, Christopher: Blue Jackets are definitely going to make the postseason.
Yeah. Blue Jackets make the playoffs. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Jacket Nation, baby.
Let's go.
Douglas, you will realize. And now, gentlemen, we got to talk about the teams that look like there could be in the division championship. We're going to go from the least amount of points to the most amount of points, and we're going to start with the Devils, New Jersey Devils right now, who have been just doing decently well.
I think the Devils started the season hot, and then they've kind of mellowed out. I mean, they should still make the playoffs. I mean, they have a 6-point lead, so watch out, Devils. Like you might have another team crawling up your pant leg to get you out of the playoffs. Yeah, I could have swore they started the season hot. It's kind of mellowed out, but I'm comfortable with them making the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I am definitely comfortable that the New Jersey Devils make the postseason right now. I definitely do think, probably for the 6 teams that are left, I do feel like they're all going to make the postseason. Let's be honest. Let's go Devils.
Yeah. Devils.
I think they have. Is this where Steven Aho plays? Is that his name?
Yeah, I believe yes.
Oh, Sebastian Aho.
Sebastian. Yeah.
I think he plays for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, oops, my bad.
Yeah, no, sorry. The latest point is Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he was on the USA or Canadian. I don't know. He was on one of the teams for the 4 Nations.
No, nice. I'm gonna actually put on the end of this game right now. They got a minute left and a tied game in Dallas.
Let's see how it goes.
Well, I'll let you guys know how this finishes. Don't worry.
Yeah, so Sebastian Aho plays for the Carolina Hurricanes. Just looked her up real quick. Nice.
Yeah, Sebastian Aho didn't do very good, but I don't know. Will they win? Will they win the Stanley Cup if I had to pick those 6? Probably not the Devils.
Yeah, they seem like a forgettable, above-average team, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it will be interesting when we talk about where they're going to be ranking in the postseason. But I kind of do feel like they're going to be a one and done right now.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that I wouldn't be shocked to see a nice little first-round exit here. Unfortunately,
it's just like the Homer Simpson meme where you just say hello and then goodbye.
Pretty much.
Door open, door closing. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes indeed right over here. And now, gentlemen, we're down to 5 other teams right now.
Nice.
We got
all these other teams excite me. These are teams, I feel like these are the legitimate Stanley Cup contender category here now, Stu.
We got to talk about the first one, the great one, as your name tree once had a joke, the rally, come to our games, Carolina Hurricanes.
All right, is that the PA announcer? Is that what he does, or what is that?
No, that was like a joke that your name tree had for the Carolina Hurricanes. He doesn't do it anymore, but I always when I think of the Carolina Hurricanes, it's like rally, come to our games. We're gonna win more Stanley Cups.
So he's saying rally, so they must play in Raleigh, North Carolina. Gotcha.
Yes, it's Raleigh.
Well, apparently Sebastian Aho wrote an open letter to the fans. That's something.
Yes.
Hopefully thanking them, not I want to get out of here because Carolina's doing pretty good. They're at 76.
You better not be getting out of here. They're looking like they're cup contenders right now. But it's interesting because I feel like the Carolina Hurricanes has always been that team. I mean, they did win the cup in 2006, and that was their last time they won the Stanley Cup. But they're always good contenders, and then they're just nope.
Well, I saw a stat last year that they were the only team in NHL history that was consistently as many points as they had over a certain period with never making the Stanley Cup Finals. So it's they're consistently above average, but they've never had that breakthrough, at least not in 19 years.
Yeah, I feel like they're always close, but then there's no cigar right over there.
Yeah, 2006 against the Edmonton Oilers. Wow, that was the last time they made it and won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, look at that. I got a good memory. You can't stop me on that.
Honestly, when I played NHL 99 back for N64, I always played as the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know. I just like their colors, the black and the red. So go Canes.
Yeah.
Do you eat canes when you go to Carolina Hurricanes?
I don't even know if there's a Raising Canes in Carolina.
There should be a Raising Canes. I'm just saying.
There definitely should be. If not, they need to get on that.
Yeah,
but this might be
that'd be a great marketing. Go crazy, get some canes when you're watching the Canes or something like that.
Yeah, go get some canes for some canes.
Did you gentlemen know that the trade deadline is this Friday, I believe?
Yeah, that's one thing I was looking at when we were talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins. I didn't say anything, but I was reading the news for the Penguins, and I'm like, I thought the deadline already. Well, I'm not sure, but it's not over because they're still talking about current trades going on. So I'm like, all right, well, because isn't the NBA deadline? No, the NBA trade deadlines after the NHL or the NBA All-Star break too. So I guess that makes sense. Maybe it's not too early or too late. I thought it was too late for it to be over.
It's too late. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, I feel like for the Carolina Hurricanes, we gotta say one thing: rally out of the playoffs. We'll come to our game.
I just looked it up. Cane's Chicken in Carolina. They have 3 locations. They're opening a 4th one in Raleigh, North Carolina. Sometime.
Rally! Come get some canes while we're watching the games.
Oh wow, the Stars. Well, this is back to the Devils. They scored with 3 seconds left to go, 5 seconds left to go. So the New Jersey just lost a heartbreaker with 5 seconds to go.
Go figure on that one.
Canes remain at 72 points. Or no, that's that's the Devils.
Red Wings are coming for you.
We're coming for you. And speaking of teams that are like coming back, we got to talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning, who
Kachuk. Well, he's injured, so sorry.
Chuck is injured. This is Nikita Kucherov's team, baby.
Yeah.
Do they still have Mr. Steven Stamkos?
I believe they do. But
it seems like the Lightning they're just jacked up on the roster.
Yes.
I mean, good. Yeah. Kucherov. Yeah. Oh, they have Braden Point, Jake Geitzel. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're one of those teams, man, that you don't want to see them in the postseason. They always find a way. They still have Victor Hedman as well.
Are you
who
sure?
Apparently scored twice against the Blue Jackets tonight in their big 6-2 victory over Columbus.
Okay, they did beat us. Okay, but still, I still feel like this Lightning team does definitely. This is a good one. Can they finally go back and win a Stanley Cup and make it to the Stanley Cup Finals? It's been almost 2 years.
Like 2 years since they haven't. Can they finally get back? It's been,
I know these bums. They won 2 back-to-back and made it to 3 Stanley Cups. What a lazy bum of an organization, man.
I mean, they have the coach to do it. They have the coach that just won the 4 Nations, I do believe.
Yeah, so I don't know. If gun to your head, who are you picking? I still feel like
I think this feels like the Capitals' year. It feels like Ovi's going to break the record. Capitals win the Stanley Cup. He retires, all-time goal scorer, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Yeah. So, I mean, that would be my personal prediction at this moment. But
I would say I like that prediction, Doug. I would go with the Edmonton Oilers, put Connor McDavid. Because he doesn't even have a Stanley Cup yet, right?
No, he lost.
So he's going to have the game winner for the 4 Nations tournament, and then he's going to hoist that Lord Stanley as well.
No cups for him. He's thirsty because he has no cups. But anyway, back to the Lightning. I feel like the Lightning are definitely going to make it good. Will they make a postseason one and win a Stanley Cup?
It looks like there's a good chance that they would play against Florida in the playoffs too, and that would be interesting. Again, you know what I mean? That'd be a really nice first round series. I like the way the NHL does their playoffs personally.
So home team in that series loses, because I mean the Lightning they have a somewhat record of choking at home. I think the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean it'd be interesting because I mean if Kachuk's out, then I would take Tampa in that series for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. We'll see.
Wait, if Kachuk comes back for the Panthers, you would take the Lightning?
No, if he does not come back, for sure the Lightning. If he comes back, I think it's probably an amazing series.
I want that amazing series. I want a Game 7 overtime Battle of Florida. Like we want that.
We would enjoy that. Yeah, that'd be fun.
We would enjoy that indeed, right there, John.
I enjoyed our Tampa Bay Lightning game a few years back too, Stu. That was a good time.
The funnest fact, I've been to a Tampa Bay Lightning game and I've been to a Florida Panthers stadium. So
I should have went to a Dallas Stars game. I can't believe I didn't do that.
Sure, but have you been to a Columbus Blue Jackets game?
I have not. And I want to go. Man. I want to go one of these days.
Didn't we go to the game that we went to for the Red Wings? Didn't we go when they played the Blue Jackets?
Yeah, it was the Red Wings Blue Jackets game.
But you have been to a Blue Jackets game, though, Stu, on a technicality. You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. Technically, I've been to an Ottawa.
Because when we had those awesome seats with all the beer and that was great.
Okay.
That was the bee's knees.
That was the bee's knees. But anyway, I mean, technically, I saw that. I technically saw Vancouver play. I saw.
Chris, you left before we went to the Colorado Avalanche game, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, my flight was early that day.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. It was all right. We only stayed for like a period, I think. Then we had to like catch a plane. So
boo indeed. But anyway, gentlemen, next we got to talk about another team. We got one Florida team down, and it's now time to talk about the other Florida team, the Florida Panthers, the reigning Stanley Cup champions right now.
Yeah, we need to get the championships back up north. What is Florida doing with all these cups?
Yeah, look at that. Florida's been holding these cups now, baby.
It was fun to hear some of the things that Tkachuk did with the cup. He took it into the ocean and got in trouble and had some good parties with it. Like he had fun with Lord Stanley's Cup. I
mean, that's what you should be doing, though. You know, if you win,
you got to drink some brewskis out of it. You got to have a good old time with.
Like when Tom Brady threw the Lombardi Trophy off of his yacht. Well, he didn't throw it off. He threw it to another yacht, and I was like, that's awesome.
Heck yeah, dude! Trophies are meant to be explored. Like the Stanley Cup is for sure the best cup. For sure, the best trophy in all sports.
You can eat cereal out of it, mac and cheese, soup, drink beer.
Whatever you want. And if you win it, your name is forever right now.
You know how many beers have been poured and drank in that cup?
That's amazing. That's
I don't know what the stat is on that is though. That'd be sweet to
like college football has a dumb crystal ball. Like, what are we gonna do with that? If we throw it and drop it, it shatters. Like, give me the Stanley Cup and I can throw it in the ocean, chug a beer out of it, and then get my name etched in the side.
Dang straight.
I still say the one fun year was it when the Red Wings had one of the Russian players and they brought the Stanley Cup to Moscow and they brought it to the KGB headquarters. That's kind of dope.
You know,
LeBron James just hit his 50,000th point of his career.
Like the stories the Stanley Cup could tell, man. I mean, I touched the Stanley Cup when I was just a wee lad when it was in Detroit. Hello.
I mean, that is the one thing that is amazing about that cup. But anyway, do you think the Florida Panthers could win back-to-back right now? Can they two-peat it?
If they get Tkachuk, nothing's happening without Mr. Matthew.
Honestly, I think they could. I mean, I can't think of his name. The Russian guy. Yeah, there we go. Sergei Bobrovsky. He's still the starter, right?
Yes.
I don't know if he just had whatever's going on. I can't.
But Bobrovsky is a beast, man.
Oh, he's a Russian tank, dude. He's an amazing goalkeeper.
I still love that one play where literally it was against the Lightning and he had to go forward and then literally went backwards to save a goal, and it was like, oh my god, that is so epic. I want a meme right there. I wanted to some dance moves, Bobrovsky doing that, and oh my god, that's probably one of my favorite. That's probably one of my favorite of the Stanley Cup last year. If I had to say my highlight right over there.
So yeah, Sergei is not the main starter. Well, he's the main starter, but he's not he's played 41 games and the backups played 23. So
hockey's gotten a lot more split. That's for sure.
Hockey does get a lot more split. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I definitely do think a deep run for the Florida Panthers right now. Right now, gentlemen. And now we got to talk about one of the two other teams right over here. The team is the second highest team in the NHL. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes.
In the East.
In the East.
Don't forget about our boys from Winnipeg.
Yeah, and our boys from Dallas. Woo woo.
Yeah, but we got to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs, who still having a great season, still doing good. But can we just at least say, you got to win 4 games, man, in the postseason. Win 4 games in April, and we can talk.
No
That's
doubt.
right. Well said.
It's like they have a great regular season. And wouldn't you agree, Douglas? Are they the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL? The Leafs.
I mean, the Leafs actually make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but they don't do well making the playoffs. It's been besides 2 years ago, literally was 20
Besides
years ago.
2 years ago. I mean,
You
yeah,
can make the case. You can make the case for that.
They can't do anything.
I mean, both historically great teams that just can't find any luck in this millennium.
Yeah. Literally 2 years ago was their first time they won a playoff game in 20 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes. Can't do anything in 20 years.
Well, I mean, they seem like they're due for a breakthrough, but like they're one of those teams that I just don't have confidence in. I don't, until they do it. Like I don't care how many points they put up. They're kind of like, the Boston Bruins a couple years ago, where it's like I don't care how good you do in the regular season, and win in the playoffs, and yet they didn't.
Yeah.
So
win 4 games.
they're in the unfortunate, unenviable spot of win a playoff series, then we'll talk. Well said, Stu.
Yeah, win 4 games, and we'll talk. And if you don't,
Austin Matthews is amazing, but got to be able to win in April and May.
It's actually interesting. Austin Matthews is not the most goaltender in the Maple Leafs. It's actually William Nylander.
Nylander,
yeah, Nylander, yeah. Nylander is actually scoring the most goals right now.
Heck yeah, man.
I think Austin Matthews only had 1 goal in the Four Nation Cup. So, yeah. I mean, it's an all-star break, so you're not really supposed to go gung-ho. But
maybe that's good for them, Maybe it's kind of like Edmonton, where it's like Draisaitl and McDavid. Maybe they just need 2 elite goal scorers. They needed some depth, and maybe they finally got it, and this is their year.
Yeah, this could be their year indeed. But let's be honest. I will say it. Toronto's in the postseason. I'm betting on the other team.
Dude, I would love to see a Toronto-Detroit first-round series.
I would go with Detroit because Toronto chokes.
I mean, I don't know if I would, but I would love to see it still.
I would put money on Detroit. That's how I feel about Toronto. I mean, heck, if Boston somehow makes it and they squeak it in, I would honestly be like, yeah, Boston got this.
But didn't you just say the Maple Leafs won in Boston in Game 7 last year?
No, they did not. They did not. No, in TD Gardens.
Wait, I thought you said that the Maple Leafs did win that game.
No, they did not win Game 7.
Oh.
They choked.
We'll have to review the footage because you definitely said
they had choking hazard. This is the Leafs goal. Or my favorite meme where it's like, you shouldn't believe in things like kids. We shouldn't believe in things that it's not real, like the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, or the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Kansas City.
Or the Toronto Maple Leafs. Also, we should put who is more likely that's going to happen: the Toronto Maple Leafs win a playoff series, or
what?
Or Josh Allen beating the Chiefs.
Oh man! Well, we gotta wait an entire year for that to happen again for Allen Mahomes matchup, and chance of that happening.
Yeah, I mean the Chiefs are in a bad spot, so maybe they'll kind of have a roster downturn, and the Maple Leafs are second in the East, so they should at least win a series by just basic statistical analysis.
But this is the Leafs, and they find a way to choke. This is a team that literally during the pandemic they lost to the Blue Jackets.
Stu, that's fair too.
Yes. So I do not have faith in these people. I never have faith in these. So never will until you tell me otherwise. Win 4 games, and then I'll talk about how good you guys are. It don't mean anything.
Very true, Stu.
But now we got the final one right over here. We got one team that we will talk about. The surprise of the year. The Washington Capitals being legit with the Eastern Conference?
The grade 8, man.
In the entire league, too. They're the best team in the league. Let's go.
I mean, I'm a big fan of, these types of big milestones, too. Because, me and my friends, man, I remember talking about Ovechkin when we were in high school. And the fact that, we're still talking about Ovechkin 14, 15 years later, and he's still one of the best players in the game, it's like LeBron James. I remember watching LeBron when I was a freshman in high school, and now I'm sitting here watching him as a middle-aged person, and he's still one of the best players in the game. I'm how do you do it? How do you stay at the top of a sport for as long as he has.
At
It's
39, and he's still like got. And I mean, everyone kind of thought, okay, Ovechkin might be washed last year. The Capitals are not going to make the postseason. It's over. Ovechkin retire. You won your cup. Ovechkin has just been beasting right now. 31 goals this season. This is a good question. Can he beat the Great One? And is he better than the Great One?
I think we brought this up last week too, and I said yes. I mean, there's 22 games left. He needs 11.
It's going to be close. Like, he's going to probably do it against the Red Wings, just knowing how the Red Wings do things. I mean, I don't think he'll go down as the best of all time, though. Like, he might go down as like the most prolific scorer, but like, I feel like the thing with Ovechkin is he is very shot heavy. Like, he doesn't get any assists. Like, his game is get it to me on the point. I'm going to slap it home. Where like Gretzky had a more all around game. Like, I think it's kind of like, I don't know. There's a lot of different comparisons, but I don't think he's going to go down as the greatest of all time by any means. He'll go down as a Hall of Famer, everything else. But
we did a podcast. I'm not sure how many months ago it was, but it was like the top 4 greatest of all time for 4 major sports. And I have my list downstairs. I should get it. I'll bring it next time. But I wonder who I had, or I should just watch that podcast again.
I think
I did Gordie Howe.
Yeah, I remember Gordie Howe being up there. We probably said Wayne Gretzky. There's probably some. Was it maybe Bobby Orr? But yeah, like obviously Ovechkin was not in the conversation. Maybe if we had a top 5, but yeah, and like you said, Doug, yeah, Ovechkin likes to just pop shots off. He's not really an assist man.
Yeah. He's fun to watch, though, man. If it can't be the Red Wings, I would love to see Ovechkin win one more, and that'd be like a great end to a career. Like, Sidney Crosby's had his fun.
That would be kind of fun, basically be like, you know what? I think it would be epic. Ovechkin scores his winning goal in overtime, and wins it in Game 7, holds the Stanley Cup and says, I beat Gretzky's record. And I'm going to end this game by beating Gretzky's record. I gave him my gold jacket in 5 years. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, does the overall scoring, does that include the playoffs too? I assume it does, right? So
I thought it was, it might. I thought it was just regular season, but it might not. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I just got to think this is probably Ovechkin's last year.
I mean, it depends. I mean, if he wins the cup, I think it should be. You got to retire on top. If you break the record and you have that all-time record, for sure.
I mean, next year he's going to be playing in 40, and that's going to be crazy. Gordie Howe was still playing in 40, but still.
Yeah. Somebody just said that Kendrick Perkins just said he thinks LeBron James is the best player in the NBA, and he's 40. No.
Currently the best player in the NBA right now for this season.
That's what Perkins said today. I watched a clip. He's like, yeah. And he's bringing it, man. The Lakers are second in the West.
Yeah, I mean, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, who now plays with LeBron. But, I mean, yeah, Donovan Mitchell, but I'm biased because I'm a Cavs fan.
Hey, they each their own.
They each their own indeed, and this is going to be an interesting one. Like I said, gentlemen, that is it for the 32 teams.
Well, 16 of them.
I'm sorry, 16 teams. So this is a good question. We agree. The Metro Division and the Atlantic Division, the 6 teams will make the postseason.
The top 3 in each are pretty safe.
Yeah, I think the top 3 are pretty much safe because it's like the haves and have like sort of.
The only one I'm worried about top 3 is the one from the Metropolitan Division. That's the New Jersey Devils, since they just lost today. They don't get 2 points. Columbus. I'm not saying Columbus is going to jump them because I don't think Columbus has. I mean, they have the ability to do so, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, Columbus also has 2 games on hand, though. It looks like the Devils have played 62 games.
And we got a 4-game win streak, baby.
That's right. Hey,
so we lost today, but it's okay.
I was gonna say we lost. Yeah, we lost today.
Yeah, we don't. Oh yeah, that was not what happened. But
I mean, yeah, I hope it's Columbus and Detroit. Like, that'd be fun. Maybe we can meet in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they can play in the Big House and the Horseshoe to go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, we can go to a game.
We all agree Columbus will make the postseason.
I don't know.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not as confident as I was when we went into this. If I'm being honest, unfortunately.
Doug, who are your two teams? Because obviously, what Stu, you said the Blue Jackets and the Senators.
Yes.
I
Doug,
don't know.
Doug, you want the Red Wings and who?
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking Ottawa a lot. I do like the Ottawa one. I'm kind of
Wow.
torn between Columbus, Detroit, and honestly, kind of. Oh, there's a few teams in there. New
Yeah.
York is one that I could see making a run at this too. The Rangers. So I'm like, it's going to be tough. Like if I had to pick, like I absolutely had to pick, I'd probably pick Ottawa and Columbus at the moment.
Because don't the Rangers have? Is it Igor Shesterkin? Gosh, I'm probably pronouncing that improperly. Yeah, the goalie for the Rangers, I do believe Igor. I mean, I assume he's still active and still playing. I don't think he's injured. But yes, the Rangers have an opportunity as well.
Yeah, but we'll see. But we'll see how indeed right over here, gentlemen. And I guess I should ask Christopher, who's your pick?
Oh, I already said. I mean, you guys were surprised I said Boston. So yeah, Boston, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. And now, gentlemen, that is it for this week's Eastern Conference. Next, we got to talk about the Western Conference. And to be honest with you, probably not as interesting as the Eastern Conference. There's a lot of haves and have-nots, but we'll see how it goes.
All right now.
All right, gentlemen. Heck yeah.
But as always, do you have any final thoughts before we get into it?
Nope.
Go Bruins, go Blue Jackets. Let's go.
Go Jackets, baby! And also, I'm gonna get my $5, baby. But anyway, gentlemen, I'll always say it. I will catch you later, Mr. Gators. So as always, take care. Bye-bye.